One day, you may wake up and realize that nothing in your life truly works without a machine's permission. What happens when robots stop being helpers and quietly become necessities? Right now, robots don't feel like something we depend on. They feel optional, convenient, helpful, but not essential. If a robot vacuum stops working, you sweep the floor yourself. If a navigation app fails, you ask for directions. If an AI assistant goes offline, life continues. At least, that's how it feels today. But look closer, and the picture starts to change. Robots are already woven into places most people don't see. Factories where almost no humans touch the product anymore. Warehouses where robots move faster than any worker ever could. Hospitals where machines assist surgeries with precision no human hand can match. In many cities, traffic lights already decide when you stop and when you go. Algorithms decide which loans get approved. Software decides which resumes are seen and which are ignored. We don't call these robots yet. We call them systems, infrastructure, technology. But the function is the same. They make decisions so humans don't have to. And slowly, without much noise, we've accepted that. Today's robots don't look like science fiction. They don't walk beside us on the street or speak with human voices in most homes. They exist quietly in the background, in data centers, in control rooms, in invisible networks that keep modern life running. Power grids, supply chains, emergency services, financial systems. If those machines stopped tomorrow, society wouldn't just slow down. It would freeze. That's the part we don't like to think about. Because dependence doesn't arrive all at once. It grows in layers. First, robots save time. Then, they save money. Then they become more reliable than people. And eventually, they become something we don't know how to live without. We trust them because they rarely get tired. They don't get sick. They don't argue. They don't forget. They just work. And in a world that feels increasingly complex and unstable, that kind of reliability feels comforting. But comfort has a cost, because the more systems we hand over to machines, the less capable we become without them. Navigation apps slowly replace our sense of direction. Automation replaces practical skills. Decision-making shifts from humans to algorithms. Not because we're forced to give it up, but because it's easier. And that's where the real shift begins. Not when robots rise up, not when machines rebel, but when humans stop practicing the ability to live without them. So if this is where we are today, machines quietly supporting almost every part of modern life, the question isn't whether we will depend on robots in the future, it's how deep that dependence will go. And once we cross that line, can we ever step back? But if this is only the beginning, what happens when these machines stop being tools? The next phase won't feel dramatic. There won't be a single moment when the world suddenly announces, humans now depend on robots. Instead, it will arrive quietly, through upgrades. Robots will move out of isolated environments and into the spaces where everyday life happens. Not just factories and warehouses, but homes, hospitals, schools, entire cities. Personal care robots that manage daily routines for the elderly. AI-driven systems that regulate energy, food distribution, and water supply. Autonomous services that schedule, optimize, and correct human behavior in real time. At first, these systems won't replace humans completely. They'll assist, they'll recommend, they'll optimize, they'll step in only when needed. But as they improve, something subtle changes. Humans stop being the backup plan. When an AI manages traffic better than any human ever could, no one wants to go back to manual control. When robotic healthcare systems detect problems earlier than doctors, people trust them more. When automated logistics prevent shortages, governments rely on them. Dependence doesn't come from weakness, it comes from efficiency. And efficiency has a way of becoming non-negotiable. Over time, human-run alternatives disappear, not because they're banned, but because they're no longer supported. No funding, no training, no infrastructure. And once that happens, robots aren't just helping society function. They are society's foundation. From a human perspective, the benefits feel obvious. Life becomes smoother, fewer mistakes, faster responses, less uncertainty. Robots don't panic during emergencies. They don't carry emotional bias into decisions. They don't get overwhelmed when systems grow complex. For individuals, this feels like relief. Less pressure to remember, less pressure to decide, less pressure to manage everything alone. For families, robots mean safety. For businesses, stability. For governments, control without chaos. And emotionally, something deeper happens. When machines handle the hard parts of life, humans feel protected, not by another person, but by something that never sleeps. A system that is always watching, always calculating, always ready. In an unpredictable world, that feels comforting, especially as human institutions lose trust. People argue, governments stall, experts disagree, but machines give answers, clear, immediate, confident. So humans lean in, not because they're forced to, but because it feels rational. Why struggle when something else can do it better? But dependence changes the balance of power, not suddenly, not violently, gradually. When robots manage essential systems, humans lose direct control, even if they still believe they're in charge. Decisions become too complex to fully understand. Processes become too fast to interrupt. Systems become too interconnected to shut down safely. At that point, turning it off is no longer an option, because turning it off means hospitals stop, food stops, transportation stops, life stops. So humans adapt instead. They stop questioning outcomes. They stop challenging decisions. They stop practicing skills they no longer need. And over time, dependence turns into fragility. A society that cannot function without machines is not powerful. It's vulnerable. Because the danger isn't robots becoming hostile. The danger is humans becoming incapable. In that future, the loss isn't dramatic. No rebellion, no collapse, just a quiet erosion of autonomy. Humans still live comfortably, still feel safe, still believe they're free. But the ability to operate without machines, to decide, to manage, to respond, slowly disappears. And once that knowledge is gone, it doesn't come back easily. So the real question isn't what machines can do. It's what we slowly stop doing ourselves. When humans depend on robots, the first thing that changes isn't technology. It's identity. For most of history, people understood who they were by what they did. Work wasn't just income. It was purpose, skill, contribution. But in a world where robots handle logistics, care, planning, and even judgment, human roles begin to feel optional. Not useless, just unnecessary. At first, this feels like freedom. More time, less stress, fewer responsibilities. But over time, something subtle fades. Skills that once took years to master disappear in a generation. Problem-solving becomes passive. Decision-making becomes outsourced. When machines anticipate needs before humans feel them, people stop listening to themselves. And when humans stop practicing agency, confidence erodes. Dependence doesn't just affect systems, it reshapes how people see their own value. A society supported entirely by machines may still function, but the human sense of meaning becomes harder to define. If robots keep us alive, what exactly are we living for? This raises a quiet ethical problem. Not about robots, about responsibility. When machines manage outcomes, who is accountable for failure? If an AI system makes a decision that harms people, is it the programmer, the government, the society that allowed dependence to grow unchecked? The more autonomy machines have, the easier it becomes for humans to step back. And once authority is diffused across systems too complex to fully understand, responsibility becomes abstract. No one feels fully in control. No one feels fully at fault. And that might be the most dangerous shift of all. Not machines ruling humans, but humans surrendering authority without realizing it. A future where humans depend on robots doesn't look like science fiction. It looks organized, stable, efficient. Life continues, cities function, people feel safe, but beneath that comfort lies a fragile question. If every critical system requires machines to survive, are humans still choosing their future? Or are they simply living inside one that's already been optimized for them? 10. Soft CTA. 5D, 10 seconds. If this future feels unsettling or inevitable, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring where humans and machines are headed together, consider subscribing. Because this conversation is only just beginning. When dependence becomes permanent, who is really in control?